Good evening, I'm Tamika Alexander. Thanks for joining us. Tuscaloosa citizens may soon have a new way to stay alert in case of an emergency. In tonight's top story, WVUA's Travis Leader joins us now live in studio to talk about what people can soon sign up for. Travis.
Thanks, Tamika. The Tuscaloosa City Council is set to vote on a project which would send hazard alerts through all sorts of methods. According to City of Tuscaloosa Information Technology Director Doug Walker, you could get your alerts through landlines, cell phones, and even social media outlets such as Facebook and Twitter. Not only can citizens get severe weather alerts, but they can also get updates on other events such as chemical spills, gas leaks, among other threats to citizens. The funding for the project will be aided by grants the city sought out to improve its warning capabilities. Walker says the project can save lives by providing a broad-based alert system.
Utilizing systems like this really gets more coverage to people and gives them the opportunity to enroll in other warnings other than just tornado.
The city is planning on implementing a 2-year contract with the Blackboard Connect service. The yearly cost is just above $27,000. Walker says his goal is to get citizens receiving alerts before the 2-year anniversary of the April 27th tornado. Tamika?
Thanks, Travis. Now the latest on 4 University of Alabama football players facing criminal charges. WVUA Sports Director Gary Harris joins us now with more. Gary.
Thank you, Tamika. This is the deposition, and it's not very positive for 4 University of Alabama football players. The information contained in this deposition, very damaging. Let's take a look at the charges facing each of these young men. The University of Alabama says Eddie Williams is charged with robbery and fraudulent use of a credit or debit card. Tyler Hayes and DJ Petway are each charged with robbery, and Brent Calloway is charged with fraudulent use of a credit or debit card. All 4 players backups, and then Williams was redshirted last season for Alabama. Now, it happened early on Monday morning when UA police got reports of 2 robberies on the campus near Patey Hall and near the Mineral Industries building parking lot. Both victims reported they were beaten up and their belongings, including cash and a Apple laptop computer, were stolen. The deposition says one of the accused players used a UA Student Act card to buy snacks from a vending machine. Now, here's what head football coach Nick Saban had to say about the charges in a statement released this afternoon by the University Athletics Department. The young men, and I'm quoting now, the young men are charged are indefinitely suspended as we continue to gather information and talk to the appropriate people. The university and football program have strict guidelines regarding issues of this magnitude. This behavior is unacceptable for any student athlete and the University of Alabama and not representative of our football program, unquote. UA Director of Athletics Mal Moore also released a statement on the arrest, and I'll read it, quote, "This is a very serious matter, and we are very disappointed in the actions that have resulted in the charges against these student athletes. In this type of situation, the athletics department works in conjunction with the university. We will have more to say at the appropriate time." Now, this is the second arrest for Eddie Williams this week. The first incident happened at the BP gas station on the Strip early Sunday morning. Tuscaloosa police say a clerk called police after Williams began acting threatening and just not in a good, positive way, and saying he had something in the trunk of his vehicle after a dispute about paying for gasoline. Williams was later pulled over in a car in which he was a passenger and charged with carrying a pistol without a permit. Now, this case will continue to be looked at, and we'll continue to follow it for you, but that is all the information that we have for now. Again, those 4 players suspended indefinitely. Tamika?
All right, thanks a lot, Gary. The city of Tuscaloosa is planning on spending more than $500,000 to finance the downtown archaeological dig. Because of federal regulations, the city must do the survey before they can exchange property rights with hotel developers. The City Council Finance Committee approved the increased funding. According to City Communications Director Deidre Stallnaker, the excavators have uncovered plenty of significant historical items, but the city's first priority is getting the property handed over.
They'll analyze that later. Right now, we're just concerned with getting, the property in order and everything completed and on the property itself before they can analyze it and back in their lab.
Now, the city plans to hand over the property to the Kimmons Wilson Group at the end of March, and Embassy Suites will be built on the downtown property. Well, some Tuscaloosa residents are hoping to see performing musicians apply for a business license. Some claim the city could make more than $500,000 if each performing act registered for a business license within the city. According to Councilman Kip Tyner, city officials will look at what revenues the city could make if musicians register as a business. Tyner says one of the challenges would be how to effectively make sure such codes are enforced.
I would imagine that it's already somehow being paid through an entertainment license or business license that a bar would have, or someone that provides bands.
Tyner says it would be important to make sure the entertainment industry is not hindered, especially with Tuscaloosa's large college student population. The Tuscaloosa City Council may soon vote on their own pay raises, but they won't be making much more. Currently, City Council members make a base salary of $25,000 a year, and their raise is projected to be just over $36. The council members will soon be on a pay grade, which is based on a cost of living adjustment. Some council members want the pay to be adjustable so future elected officials won't have to decide on their own raises. The City Council president's pay would go up just over $170 from the base pay of $30,000 a year. This would go into effect when council members begin a new term. Well, President Barack Obama delivered his State of the Union address to Congress and millions of Americans. The stakes were high in this much anticipated speech. Emily Schmidt has more.
The President of the United States.
In his fourth State of the Union address, President Obama laid out the agenda for his second term in office.
Together, we have cleared away the rubble of crisis. And we can say with renewed confidence that the state of our union is stronger.
The focus of tonight's speech, how he plans to improve the economy and find work for the nation's 12.3 million unemployed Americans.
Broad-based economic growth requires a balanced approach to deficit reduction, with spending cuts and revenue, and with everybody doing their fair share.
Warmly received by Democrats and mostly dismissed by Republicans, the president will need help from both parties to achieve his goals.
Let's set party interests aside and work to pass a budget that replaces reckless cuts with smart savings and wise investments in our future.
On foreign policy, the president announced a major troop withdrawal from Afghanistan, 34,000 by this time next year. On immigration reform, he pushed for a path to citizenship for the 11 million illegal immigrants currently in the U.S. And on gun control, he made it clear he wants action.
The address will get 2 immediate formal responses. Florida Senator Marco Rubio will represent Republicans. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul will speak for the Tea Party Express. In Washington, I'm Emily Schmidt.
New at 10 tonight, a SWAT team has stormed a cabin near Big Bear Lake, California, where renegade ex-cop Christopher Dorner is said to be barricaded. The cabin is on fire, and sources say police detonated smoke devices inside. Law enforcement officials say a charred body has been found at the cabin, but the identity of the body has not been released. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office says a deputy was killed and another was hurt in a shootout with Dorner earlier today. Dorner is accused of going on a violent spree, recently killing 3 others, including another police officer, the daughter of his police union representative, and her fiance. Authorities say Dorner was upset over what he believes was his unfair termination from the LAPD. Well, switching gears to the weather, let's get a first check on Alabama's home team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. Hey, Richard, what day out there today?
Yeah, a lot of rain to make it, but I've got some good news. Check this out, live radar. Not much rain to talk about. Yeah, there's a lot of drizzle and mist out here, but nothing that's going to aggravate the flooding issues already in place. So the really heavy rain moving out. Look for the drizzle and mist and light rain at times to continue at least through lunch tomorrow. And then we'll go totally dry, I think, late in the day tomorrow. Again, there goes all the heavy rain, the big time flooding issues starting to kind of move out of the area. Still going to be some river flooding issues, and the creeks out there going to be very high over the next couple of days until we can finally dry things out. Here's that forecast tomorrow morning. Get some showers possible, some light drizzle and mist early in the day. 45 degrees for that bus stop forecast. But when does the sun return? Your forecast is coming up. Sunday's tornado in Hattiesburg, Mississippi stirred up memories of the tornadoes we've seen in Alabama.
particularly the April 27th storm. So how can you be ready to make a difference once disaster strikes? WVUA reporter Emily Forrester takes us through the first day of Tuscaloosa County's Community Emergency Management Team training.
Tabitha Dye and her husband are taking the Community Emergency Response Team training for a personal reason.
I decided to take this class because I experienced the April tornado and decided that I needed to be a bit more prepared than I had been in the past.
And even in Alabama, emergencies and disasters come in all shapes and sizes.
I didn't think about that earthquakes happen in Alabama that often.
What about something we hear all the time? Watches and warnings. Do you know the difference?
When I was a kid, I was taught that a watch is when you could possibly have tornadoes and a warning was when you actually saw a tornado, and now the definitions have changed a bit.
Now, a watch means there is a potential for a natural disaster, like a tornado, to happen. A warning means it's actually been spotted on radar.
CERT training stresses tips like turn around and don't drown in the face of flooding. And from wildfires to tornadoes, preparedness is the key to staying safe.
Teacher Billy Green stresses the difference between natural disasters, like earthquakes and floods, and intentional hazards, like terrorism and active shooters. In the classes, the trainees will tackle some of the difficult decisions that come up in either type of disaster.
Triage. Who's going to go first? You know, when you've only got 3 or 4 ambulances, but we've got hundreds of patients, which one of those patients are we going to put in first?
Before I thought it was like, okay, well, you'll organize things, you'll try to get things ready, but the actual training you do actually helps prevent further damages.
Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Emily Forrester, WVUA News.
The CERT class also stresses the importance of buying a NOAA weather radio or signing up for weather warning services like Safety Net. For more information, you can go to our website, WVUATV.com, and click on numbers and links. Well, several families spent some time this evening celebrating Valentine's Day a little early. Red flowers and plenty of hearts filled Chick-fil-A in Northport for a date night. Families got a jump start to their Valentine's Day by enjoying reserved seating, table service, and spending time with their favorite cow. Participants say the event put everyone in a loving mood while spending time with their family and friends. We caught up with some children who shared with us their thoughts on this special holiday.
I love my family so much. I like hearts that let you like magic. Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day.
Aside from eating dinner, children in attendance made heart-shaped arts and crafts, and some even received Valentine's Day stuffed cows. Children also got a chance to give flowers to their loved ones. Well, when WVUA News at 10 returns, find out if we went to your favorite sweet spot for the sweetest sweet of taste of the town. And the Bama men's basketball team was hoping to pick up a big SEC road win tonight at Georgia. Gary Harris will have the highlights later in Alabama's home team sports.